Good morning, students. Today, I would like to teach you the very important chapter, the story of R.K. Narayan. The name of the story is Under the Banyan Tree. Under the Banyan Tree is a very significant story in which a person, Nambi, is very renowned for telling the stories. Every day he coins, makes stories and tells the villagers under the banyan tree. The people come to him and listen very carefully. But when the time comes, the villagers cease to come and uh, come frequently for listening his stories. So the story is very important. Had he still been alive, R.K. Narayan would have been 111 years old today. Renowned for his stories set in the fictional town of Malgudi in South India. Malgudi, as the very artificial name, fictitious name, town in Mysore today, plays a very central figure in the novel's stories. Renowned for his stories set in the fictional town of Malgudi in South India, Rasipuram, Krishna Swami Narayan Swami was one of the most celebrated English novelists of India. He was born into a large Brahmin family in Madras, now Chennai in 1906. Narayan came to live in Mysore as a teenager in the 1920s. When his father was appointed headmaster of the Maharaj Collegiate High School, always a small towner at heart, Narayan loved Mysore with its easygoing, chatty, intellectual vibe and a strong sense of its own identity. In his 1974 memoir, My Days, he wrote, after graduating in 1930 from the Maharaja College, Narayan took up his first job as the Mysore correspondent for Madras newspaper, The Justice. His daily news hunting walks through the city would later lay the foundation for his Malgudi Chronicles. R.K. Narayan's description of Malgudi was so meticulously realistic that the reader would often feel that she had literally visited the place herself. Such was the charm of the provincial world created by his words that critics would compare the literary microcosm of Malgudi to William Faulkner's Yoknapatwa County, a small town that the author created so that he would be able to freely meddle with its geography and details as he pleased. Without incurring the wrath of the resident of any actual town or place, the stories set in Malgudi are a meandering South Indian soap opera, full of small town intrigues and aspirations which were successfully adapted for an Indian television series in 1980s. In 1935, R.K. Narayan's first novel, Swami. So students, his first novel, the name of the novel was Swami and Friends, appeared. Published with the help of the famous British writer Graham Greene. He followed it up with its successor, The Bachelor of Arts, which was also set in the enchanting fictional town of Malgudi. The theme of the story. Under the Banyan Tree has a very significant theme. The story, we have the theme of storytelling, isolation, hardship, escape, fear, failure, loyalty, and selfishness. Taken from his An Astrologer's Day and other stories collection, the story is narrated in the third person. So the narrative quality of the story is very important. The story is told in third person by an unnamed narrator, and from the beginning of the story, the reader realizes that Narayan may be exploring the theme of isolation. Somal is the isolated from the world. Somal is a village where Nambi used to tell stories. The nearest bus stop is 10 miles away from the town, is sparsely populated with less than 300 people. The fact that the population of Somal is so small may be important, as Narayan may be suggesting that the village is a difficult place to live in. with no real amenities at hand. If anything, the center of attention is Nambi. Nambi is the central character who tells the stories and his ability to tell stories. Nambi's ability to tell a story is interesting as it may be a case that the people in Somal listen to Nambi's stories in order to escape from the hardships that surround them. It is easier for them to listen to Nambi telling his stories than it is to face the realities of living in Somal. It is also possible that Narayan is exploring the theme of fear and failure. When Nambi loses the ability to tell a story, he begins to get afraid, blaming his age on the fact that he is unable to tell a story. However, the reality may be very different from for Nambi. As with writers who go through a period without being able to write writer's block, Nambi too may be going through a period of being unable to tell a story. However, rather than persevering or giving himself time, he chooses to remain silent and stop telling stories altogether. It is as though his well has finally run dry. It is also interesting that many of the people in the village lack the patience to wait for Nambi to return to telling stories. When he continuously stumbles in a story, many of the people in the village decide to walk away. It is as though their means of escape is no longer. It is also interesting that on only Mary shows Nambi any type of loyalty. He is the only person in the village who shows not only loyalty to Nambi but patience too. Everybody else in the village walks away from Nambi. It is as though he is no longer of any use to anybody in the village because he can't tell a story like he used to be able to do. So now there comes a change, the change between the time when he used to tell stories when he was very energetic and the time when the people ceased to come to him. It is also possible that Narayan is suggesting that everybody has a purpose and for Nambi his purpose was to tell stories. However, when he lost the ability to tell stories, he was no longer useful to people, which may suggest a certain selfishness in society or in Soma. When a person is no longer useful, they are forgotten about. Even Mary's polite words to Nambi can't hide the fact that Nambi is no longer of any use of people in Soma. He has served his purpose and old age has forgotten the better of Nambi with his inability to remember a story. It might also be significant that Nambi is not the only one who is suffering. The people of Somal no longer have an avenue of escape now that Nambi is silent. The hardships that they incur daily will be even more real for them, which may be the point that Narayan is attempting to make. He may be suggesting that everybody, regardless of those who they may be, is reliant on each other. Just as Nambi needs an audience to tell his stories, to do the people in Somal have a need to hear the stories that Nambi tells them. It might also be case that Narayan is focusing on the art of storytelling. When Nambi told a story, he never used the same character twice. It is possible that Narayan is highlighting just how difficult the art of storytelling really is and how frustrated a storyteller may get when they lose the ability to tell a story. Not only does the storyteller fear never being able to tell a story again, but they also fear failure, which is the case with Nambi. It is as though storytelling was Nambi's life, and now that he is unable to tell a story, he has decided to remain silent, which some critics may suggest is an extreme measure. Rather than giving himself time, Nambi gives up on storytelling, believing that it is the will of the great mother. Whether the reader believes this is mother, another thing, as each individual reader will interpret the story differently. Some will suggest that Nambi gave up storytelling too soon and should have been a little more patient, while others will agree with Nambi and suggest that the reason Nambi is unable to tell a story is because of the will of the great mother. Under the banyan tree, the title of the story is a collection under the banyan tree and other stories 1985 appeared originally in his earlier volume. An Astrologer's Day, Other Stories 1947. It is the story of an old fashioned storyteller named Nami, in whom Narayan has created a character of mythic dimensions. The story radiates its author's deep love for tradition as he, using the omniscient point of view, nostalgically evokes the old world charm of old storytelling by so posing Nami. The story begins in a remote village in southern India where people live in a kind of perpetual enchantment, unmindful of their dismal surrounding. The enchanter is Nambi, the storyteller whose tales work like magic to transmute the drab existence of the villagers. The story focuses on Nambi, an old man of indeterminate age. Though illiterate, he is gifted with a fertile imagination. He can weave a story in his head with great ease. At least one every month, and then he narrates the story to an eager audience in an open space in moonlight. The narrator further reveals Nambi's simple, tranquil, and austere lifestyle. Nambi lives in the front portion of a little temple dedicated to the goddess Shakti at the end of the village. A man with no material possessions, he spends most of his day in the shade of the banyan tree in front of the temple. On Friday evening, he serves as the temple priest and leads the villagers in the worship of the goddess. The narrator recounts in detail the rituals and the method of Nambi's storytelling. On the night Nambi is to tell a story, he lights a small lamp and keeps it at the trunk of the banyan tree to send a signal to the villagers. At moonrise, men, women, children rush to the temple and gather around the banyan tree. While Nambi sits inside the temple before the goddess, lost in deep meditation, when he comes out ablaze with inspiration, he takes his seat on the stone platform in front of the temple and begins the story with a cushion and dramatic gesture to capture the attention of the audience. Reading each story on an epic scale, he takes several days to finish it. He narrates continuously for 3 hours each night, luxuriating in every detail of the setting, the characters, and the episodes. His vivid imagination makes everything come alive for the audience. With the dramatic modulation of his voice, he even sings the songs appropriate to the occasion. At the end of the story, he and the entire audience go into the temple to offer their thanks to the goddess. This goes on for years. And now we come to the conclusion. After reading Under the Banyan Tree, I won't say that Narayan disappointed me, but I do believe I will have to go further into his obvious to discover the writer who won so much praise. While the pieces in this volume are full of charm and turn a clear eye on the character of Indian daily life, they are mainly character sketches rather than stories. Marked with by simplicity and a subtle humor, R.K. Nayan told stories of ordinary people trying to live their simple lives in the changing world. R.K. Nayan Under the Banyan Tree is really a collection of sketches rather than short stories that bring to readers the daily life of India of his time. They are often clever and are always charming. Still, from such an obvious talent, one wishes for more than one gets here. So, the students, the story Under the Banyan Tree is very, very interesting. It is very important because we find a background of Malgudi, how the fictitious town has its background in the story, how the South Indian Brahmin used to tell the stories, and how the people are interested to listen to them. We have also found the narrative technique of R.K. Nayan, how he used to tell, he told the stories in third person. although he uses first person somewhere, but the third person is very important. There are some flashbacks also in the stories as very important quality of Arcanine. So the topic is very very important students. Thank you.